Hello and welcome to Live in the Pub. This is Susan O'Rourke and I am here with Zig Zeitler. How are you, Zig?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, Susan?
I'm pretty good. You know, last couple of weeks, the couple of weeks before we did our live pledge drive, and last week I know you did the show by yourself. You've done a couple of them by yourself without me now. So how's that going?
It's going pretty good, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like it, don't you?
Well, it works both ways, but we truly do miss you.
Yeah, well, this is what I heard. I heard that when you do the show by yourself without me, you're in the pub for 6 hours, as compared to when you do the show with me, you're in the pub for only an hour and a half.
Oh, we got to kind of pre-set up the show a little bit, you know. 6 to 8 Guinnesses.
That's the pre-setup for Live in the Pub. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, today we've got a little bit different approach to the show, okay? So we're going back to the regular format, Mr. Zeitler. And we're going to start out today's show with an absolutely great band. And I'm going to read a little bit about it, because I don't know if some of you guys have heard of these guys or not, but they're phenomenal. And the band names in this band are just like an A-list of all the best players there are, and it's called the Brock McGuire Band. We actually had them here in Saginaw. God, I want to say 2 years ago. Do you think it was that long ago? We had the Brock McGuire Band up at the White Crow.
Probably about that, yeah.
Well, this is a fabulous CD. It's called Green Grass Bluegrass. It was named. This band in particular was named the Instrumental Band of the Decade by Irish American News, and the music is actually roots music from Ireland and America, and it's kind of like the best of the East meeting the West on many, many levels, and how Irish traditional music seems to blend in with American traditional music and vice versa. And some of the great players on here, let me just read you some of these names, because this is going to make you stand up and take notice. We had special guests on here: Ricky Skaggs, Aubrey Haney, Brian Sutton, who happens to be, I think, a bluegrass guitarist, Jeff Taylor, Mark Fain. We, of course, have the actual Brock McGuire Band, who would be comprised of Paul Brock on button key accordion and melodeon, Manus McGuire, who plays phenomenal fiddle, Enda Scahill on banjo and mandolin, and Dennis Carey on piano. And as I said, special guests Ricky Skaggs, Aubrey Haney, Brian Sutton, Jeff Taylor, and Mark Fain are all on this CD. It's a fabulous, fabulous CD. So we're going to listen to a little bit of this rather than like pure traditional session music, which is how we normally start this part of the show. And I think the very first cut that we're going to hear is going to be Tom Ward's Downfall and Lucy Campbell. And then Johnny, Will You Marry Me? That's one of my favorites. Phil the Fluter's Ball and The Rookery.
All right, let's hear it. All right.
It's
Cool
great
stuff.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
really great stuff. It makes me want to go into my house and clean almost. Like I could clean all day listening to that.
Yeah, makes your toe want to go up and down.
Up and down and up and down. In that order too. Never down, down, up.
Yeah.
It's impossible to go down, down, up. You know, I'm going to read a little bit of the liner notes of this CD because I think it's really cool and interesting. The liner notes were actually written by Paul F. Wells, who happens to be the director of the Center for Popular Music in Middle Tennessee State University. And again, we're listening to Greengrass Bluegrass by the Brock McGuire Band, who were named the Instrumental Band of the Decade by Irish American News. That's quite a title.
Quite a title.
The liner note starts like this, closing the circle. Just as there is a long and complex history of Irish immigration to America, so too is there a long and complex relationship between the traditional music of the two countries. Even before millions of immigrants left Ireland in the wake of the potato famines of the 1840s and 1850s, thousands have pulled up stakes in their homeland to get a fresh start in the New World. Most of the early pre-famine transplants were the so-called Scotch-Irish or Ulster Scots. They were descendants of the lowland Scots who had settled in Ulster province in the 17th century, and who in turn went on in large numbers to the American colonies in the 18th century. Many settled in Appalachia and other parts of the American South. In a quirk of cultural history, the period in which so many people were relocating from the Old World to the New World coincided with an era which many styles of dance and dance music were coming into fashion. Immigrants took their music with them, of course, but what they took was not largely a body of tunes, but rather the form and style of the new genre. As a result, distinctive regional repertoires and playing styles developed in different parts of the American colonies, as well as back in the colonists' homeland. That's very true. I'm breaking away from the actual liner notes right now because one tune can be played very different from one region to another region, certainly in Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
So it was actually the playing styles that started to morph, not always the tunes.
And how many of those songs have been adapted by or adopted by other countries?
Right,
too? Yeah.
exactly. And that's kind of what they're saying with the immigrants coming to the United
Sure.
States and bringing these tunes with them. They weren't just bringing the tunes, they were bringing the regional flavorings of how to play these tunes. So going back to the actual liner notes, what we have then, when present-day Irish traditional musicians encounter present-day American old-time and bluegrass musicians, is a meeting of musical cousins, members of a large, complicated family that has many branches, each of which has been shaped by influences from countries other than musical styles. Players easily recognize the kinship. And with a bit of adjustment on both sides, discover they can communicate with each other quite well. The tunes and the way they are played may differ, but each player can bring his own style to a tune and combine to give us a unique interpretation. When the musicians involved are some of the finest players in their respective worlds, the overall results can be something quite special and extraordinary, as the exuberant music on this recording certainly is. And it certainly is. We have some of the best players in both American bluegrass as well as some of the best players in Irish traditional music.
Absolutely.
Merging together to bring us this CD. So I'm really excited to be listening to it today. I haven't heard it in quite a while now.
It's pretty cool stuff.
So let's listen to a little bit more of it. We're going to listen to another cutoff of this CD. Let me see. It would be, it's a great set of tunes. Chase Me Charlie, Poor Old Liza Jane, Dance Boatman Dance, and Miss Monahan.
Oh, that was kind of blue and kind of green.
Kind of blue and kind of green, and that's why it's called Green Grass Bluegrass.
Yeah.
The Brock McGuire Band. Now we're going to change gears just a little bit, but it's still kind of the similar take, I think. This gentleman is an Irish-born singer-songwriter. He's also a writer and an actor by the name of Mick Fitzgerald. And I came upon his writing, his music, because I was listening to a CD by a great band called Cool Rua, and on one of their CDs is a fabulous song called Asha Asha, and I wanted to cover it myself, and I tried to figure out the background of the song, and I found out that this gentleman, Mick Fitzgerald, had written it, so I had contacted him to ask him if I could get a copy of it, the lyrics, and if it would be okay if I recorded it, and he very graciously said okay. He sent me multiple copies of CDs, different CDs that he has recorded, as well as a book of his short stories that I find intriguing. But he's Irish-born, born in Dublin, and has been a writer, I believe, for the Irish Press, as well as writing occasionally for the Irish Independent. And I tried to Facebook him today to let him know that we would be featuring his music on this week's show, and sadly discovered that he passed in the spring. And I was like stunned by it, because I think he's like the same age as me. So he wasn't an older gentleman by my standards, certainly, but I'm sure he's going to be missed. But I hope that you are going to enjoy this. The reason why I'm playing this is because, we tend to focus on songs and tunes here on Live in the Pub that were written, 200, 300, 400 years ago. And I'm always intrigued with Irish writers who write and still have that sense of, I think, the sense of the message of the song, the Irish message and lyrics and things like that in their contemporary pieces, and will not only write contemporary pieces, but in the middle of a contemporary CD will throw in a traditional piece, like it fits right in. And I always find that amazing. So we're going to listen to a little bit of Mick Fitzgerald, and let me see, I'm trying to see which pieces we're going to hear today. The first song I think we're going to hear is called The New Roads of England, and that one is The New Roads of England were built that's not what I want to read you. I wanted to read you the liner note for what that's about. Okay. The New Roads of England were built mainly with Irish labor. They just dug from one end of the map to the other, connected to home only by a pen and paper. That's his liner note for this song. And then we're also going to hear, song number 2 on it, which is The Ballad of Chapel Street. And that is a Dublin street with thousands of stories. The man in this song fits it perfectly. So we're going to listen to a little bit of Mick Fitzgerald. This is a live recording, and I believe it was mixed down in Germany. So Mick Fitzgerald, still live.
All right.
Well, town from the hills is a wonderful sight. Light shine for miles in the dead of the night, but beauty is nothing when money's tight. Now I'm plowing the new roads of England, and Mary and me and Donnelly too played games in the streets on a slow afternoon, and the old people watched and all the years flew. Now I'm plowing the new roads of England, and letters from Maria, pictures to me I should go home at the end of this long road. If they're digging some new one, whatever will be, you might find me among the workload. Now Mary looks out at a threatening sky, caught in the wind window with sleep in her eyes, and her mother is old now and time has passed by. And I'm ploughing the new roads of England, and Donnelly sits by the side of a stream, throws in a penny and he pays for a dream, and the hills are around him, they always will be. And I'm ploughing the new roads of England, and letters from Maria, pictures to me. I should go home at the end of this long road, but if they're digging some new one, whatever will be, you might find me among the workload. One factory closes, one building to waste. Mary cleans floors and Donnelly waits, and young men I know have been asking of late, can they plough up some new roads in England? And on many's a Sunday I sit on my own, as the church bells ring out in some small English town, and I look out the window and I drink my beer down, and go back to the new roads of England. And letters from Maria, pictures to me. I should go home at the end of this long road, but if they're digging some new one, whatever will be, you might find me among the workload. Yeah, letters from Maria, pictures to me. I should go home at the end of this long road, but if they're digging some new one, whatever will be, you might find me among the workload. You might find me among the workload. Well, Saturday down with old men in the bar, talking big money, holding on to a star, and the name of the horse is a wing and a prayer, and he's gonna do it this time. And the dirty old river goes crawling away through the cold heart of morning to the end of the day. Just once in a lifetime is all that it takes. He's gonna do it this time. And the world's upside down on the far side of town, a street carnival with a merry-go-round. He moves through the streets, he studies the form, and he's gonna do it this time. Well, Saturday night, blowing papers around, the whole world's asleep and no dreams to be found. And he's drunk beside the river, he's close to the ground, singing some song to the wind, a song on the streets with a voice wearing thin. It bounces off windows, tree sheets in the wind. Just once in a lifetime is all that it takes. He didn't do it this time. He sings alive, alive, He sings alive, alive, oh, hey, alive, alive, oh. He won't know in the morning, but that's how it goes. He sings alive, alive, oh, hey, alive, alive, oh. And he didn't do it this time.
Well, good morning, Susan. Hi, Zig. How you doing? Hey, does anybody know who that big guy is sitting over in my seat at the pub? Does he know that that seat's for me? No, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm here to tell you all things Irish in Michigan that we know about coming up for the week of Tuesday, today, November the 1st, through next week, Monday the 6th. Not a whole lot going on, normal stuff. Of course, the Celtic Jam with Hooley or the sessions up at the Steinhaus here in Bay City. So stop by there tonight, starting at 7 o'clock, runs till at least 9 usually, and longer if everybody's having fun. Over in Muskegon, there is Irish music sessions at Hennessy's Irish Pub. That's a once-a-month deal, and that's happening tonight over in Muskegon. Tomorrow, Conklin, the Irish session at the Conklin Bar. They're redoing it there like they used to in the old days when it was Fenian's Irish Pub. We're going to jump right ahead to Saturday because that's the only real Irish event I see happening this week anyways, right now on MI Irish. And it's at Quinn & Tuohy's Irish Pub, one of Michigan's most intimate Irish arenas, I like to call it. Great Irish music, past, present, and in the future. And this week it happens to be 3 West Michigan area bands, and the show is being billed as the Gunpowder, Treason, and Plot Show. It's going to have our good buddies from the Saltbound, wonderful West Michigan band who I've worked with and featured several times at different events. And, of course, a band known to everyone over on this side of the state that made it to the gathering and to the Chamois show last year, Pete and the Creel, a great traditional band from the Grand Rapids area, and a new group out of Kalamazoo will be up in Grand Rapids at this event at Quinn & Tuohy's, and they are known as Blarney Castle. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, watch out for this band. They are hot. They're a bunch of young students from Western Michigan. Some have graduated now, but let me tell you, they are a force to be reckoned with. You heard it right here from Liam, the extra large leprechaun. They're going to be seen and heard all over Michigan and maybe the Midwest, because I really think they're that good, and it's going to be a great chance to see them this Saturday the 5th. I'm going to have to get there after a conference, but I'm going to make it because that's a great show, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then we're right into Saturday and Sunday, our regular stuff, the Celtic Connection radio show at 8 o'clock from WSIU on Saturday and Sunday. Lots of radio shows and sessions. They're all available. Just go to miirish.com and scroll down on the left side there just a little ways to the MI Irish's schedule of Irish and Celtic events. Thanks, everybody. I got to go talk to this big guy about sitting in my seat at the pub. And as always, until I talk to you next week, stay Irish, my friends.
Wow, I think that guy's trying to beat up on Liam or something. Look at that extra large pot of gold.
I don't know about an extra large pot of gold sitting here in the pub. You'd think we would have noticed somebody carrying that in.
Well,
it's not like you can hide it under the table, you know.
Well, extra large leprechaun would be an extra large pot of gold?
I don't know. You know, I have to make one correction. I don't think Liam knows, but the Steinhaus actually closed. I want to say the first week of October.
Oh,
so there is no
that's
session
right.
going on up there anymore with Hooley. So
That's right.
I think it's going through a transfer of ownership. It's going to come back, I guess, bigger and better. From what I'm understanding,
so.
but I don't know if they're still going to be doing the Irish session there or not.
Yeah.
But I know it's not right now, so don't
Right.
be driving over there. Always make sure on all of those, as a matter of fact, If you go on to Am I Irish or also anything that you hear, always call ahead to some of these venues and make certain that those events are going on for that evening, because sometimes things happen. You just
Yeah,
never
things
know.
happen sometimes.
So if you're driving,
True.
especially if you're driving a long way, you always want to double check that.
double check it. Yeah.
Always double check it. Okay, so we're listening to some of the music of Mick Fitzgerald, Irish-born singer-songwriter, actor, writer. Another thing, I told you that I have a copy of his book of short stories. He was really a prolific short story writer and was actually shortlisted for the prestigious Hennessy Award in Ireland in 1986. I wasn't quite aware of that, but I'm not aware of a lot of things, so that doesn't really mean anything, I think, in general. But I love his songs. I'm sad to hear that he passed this spring, and I'm going to continue to share his music out to our audience here on Live in the Pub, so I hope you're enjoying it too. Now, I want to listen to one more cut off of his Mick Fitzgerald live CD, and this is, as I was saying, a lot of the contemporary songwriters were still very well steeped in traditional Irish music and loved a good old traditional Irish ballad. And here's proof of the pudding right here as Mick sings a great Irish traditional piece called Black is the Color.
Oh, black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like a rose so fair. She's the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands, and I love the ground whereon she stands, and I love my love, and well she knows I love the ground whereon she goes. I wish the day it soon would come when her and I could live as one. Oh, black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like a rose so fair. She's the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands, and I love the ground whereon she stands. And I'll go to the Clyde, where I'll mourn and I'll weep, the satisfied I never can be. I'll write her a letter, a few short lines, and I'll suffer death 1,000 times. Oh, black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like a rose so fair. She's the sweetest smile and the gentlest hands, and I love the ground whereon she stands, and I love the ground whereon she stands.
We have been listening to the music of Mick Fitzgerald, and we're going to listen to now a little bit of some of the boys from the Detroit area. The Codgers. I love these guys.
Oh, yeah.
They were also up in Saginaw. They've been here a couple of times now, and we've also had them as guests here on Live in the Pub, so They're kind of like the home team. And we're going to listen to just a couple of cuts off of their Litchfield CD. So the first cut we're going to be hearing is going to be Corktown Boys. How fitting is that? Let me say Corktown Boys. And, drum roll, The Town I Love So Well. That's a classic.
Yeah.
So there we get it again. Brand new stuff and
All
older
right.
stuff.
Drinking with them Corktown boys, knocking whiskey down, picking tunes until the morning. Neath the big white circus tent I sing South Australia bound, but you and I ain't going nowhere. If there's one thing that's on my mind, it's leaving Nancy Blair behind and all of these drinking working people. South Australia around Cape Horn, not exactly where I was born, but Southwest Detroit gets just as foggy. And we ain't worried about a thing, and we ain't going nowhere new. Right now I'm sitting here with you. I'll always be right here with you. Big white circus tent in the city where we met, over some cans of dollar strokes. Used to look in your finest, I got my eyes on you. Nothing's ever gonna change that. The stadium on down the street, it's leaning back, it's crumbling in all of its former glory. It's you and me and some Corktown boys, we're about to make some noise. I guess it's just the same old story, 'cause we ain't worried about a thing, and we ain't going nowhere new. Right now I'm sitting here with you. I'll always be right here with you. Southwest Detroit where I was born, drank my first at the corner store and then went home to meet my father. He walloped me upside my head and left a gash on my forehead, but I don't regret a single minute, 'cause we ain't worried about a thing, and we ain't going nowhere. always be right here with you.
In my memory, I will always see town and tide. I loved it so well, where our school played ball by the gas yard wall, and we laughed through the smoke and the smell. Going home in the rain, running up the dark lane, past the jail and down behind the fountain. Those were happy days in so many, many ways, for the town I loved so well. In the early morning, the shirt factory horn called the women from Craiga, the moor and the bog, while the men on the dole laid a mother's roll, fed the children and then walked the dog. And when times got tough, there was just about enough, but we saw it through without complaining. For deep inside was a burning pride in the town I loved so well. There was music there in the dairy air, like a language that we all could understand. I remember the day that I earned my first pay, when I played in a small pickup band. There I spent my youth, and to tell you the truth, I was sad to leave it all behind me. For I'd learned about life, and I'd found a wife in the town I loved so well. But when I returned, how my eyes were burned to see how a town can be brought to its knees by the armored cars and the bombed out bars and the gas that had
listening to the Hometown Boys, the Codgers from Detroit.
Sounds like horses clocking. in the
No, it
background.
does not. Now
Yeah.
it's the time to say
Yep.
goodbye. We have to say goodbye. Isn't it sad?
Bye-bye.
So, yeah, we're going to make it real short because I want you to hear just a little bit more of Brock McGuire as we leave the pub. That'll be the musings that you'll be humming to as we go. So until next week, thank you first for coming and joining us this hour. But we'll see you next week. And until then, safe home.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.